A U.S. citizen was asked for his phone passcode as he was flying back into the U.S., and he gave them a duress code instead. He likely doesn't know how much he screwed up there. You guys asked about both duress codes and searches coming back into the United States at the border. I'm going to tell you what Border Protection thinks and what the law says. Quick facts. A guy is flying back into Atlanta from the Dominican Republic and he gets pulled into secondary inspection. And CBP asks him for his phone passcode and he gives them a code. But it's not the one to open the phone. It's a duress passcode, a feature of his phone's operating system that wipes the phone completely and the phone dies right there. Now, they let him go that day, but then months later, he gets indicted on a felony charge. So, can you do this? Well, legally speaking, giving him a duress code that destroys the data on your phone is basically the same thing as smashing your phone right in front of them, which some of you have suggested, or deleting evidence in some other way. The federal law here doesn't care if you physically destroy the phone or if you make the data disappear in some other way. It just cares that you take an action that prevents the government from getting at something that they had the lawful authority to seize. And he typed it in himself. Well, that's not really a great defense here. And timing is everything, right? So deleting your phone at home or the hotel before you go to the airport, that's potentially a privacy choice. But deleting the evidence or anything on your phone while an officer is holding it in front of you, actively trying to search it, well, that's when prosecutors say the crime happened. Second question, do they need a warrant to search your phone at the border? Because we just talked about how the Supreme Court said police need to go get a warrant in order to search your phone. But at the border, the answer is no. It's one of the biggest exceptions to the Fourth Amendment. The government's authority to search people and belongings at the border, including phones, is broader than pretty much anywhere else in the United States. And the CBP kind of splits it into two tiers in their manual. There is a manual search of your things, and that takes no suspicion at all. And then there's what they call an advanced forensic search, and that requires both approval from a supervisor and reasonable suspicion. Now, a U.S. citizen cannot be denied entry if they refuse to give a phone password over, but that doesn't mean that they can't either seize the phone or extend your stop pretty significantly. Now, this case is contested precisely because of that gap. This guy, a U.S. citizen, his lawyers argue that the stop was unlawful in the first place. There was no warrant. He had no attorney access, which would undercut the government's authority to seize the phone in the first place. And if the judge agrees that the stop was unlawful, then the whole destruction of evidence charge could unravel. But that question hasn't been decided yet. So the bottom line is they don't need a warrant to search your phone at the border, and actively interfering with a search, however cleverly, can in and of itself be a federal crime. So if you're worried about what's on your phone or in your suitcase, that's something to think about before you even head to the airport, not when an officer is holding your phone in his hand.